Hi everyone, so today I'm going to do a video that is all around, you know that your marriage is headed for divorce, but it's really just a matter of timing. And the key thing is you have minor children and you're trying to decide, do you wait it out until they're 18 or do you go ahead and pull the trigger? So my name is Pallas Athena. I'm a life coach and I help men and women navigating divorce, either currently divorced or recently divorced, so that they can reinvent themselves for a healthier way. So let's talk about it. Now, everybody's situation is different, all right? So I'm going to speak to a couple things and I'm going to tell you a couple stories of people that I know. So the first one is that I want to stay for the kids. Now, the only reason that you should stay for the kids is two things. One, because you're currently in an amicable situation with your spouse, even though you know it's going to divorce at some point, but you know that you can manage the day-to-day living with them until that day shows up, all right? And then as it relates to the children, the big key is you do not want to interrupt their lifestyle and their life right now, okay? The idea of they've got to go to two homes, maybe you're in a lesser home. It's one thing to be in a lesser home when it's just you, but it's another when you've got your kids. So if you're trying to maintain that kind of lifestyle for them, and it's something where your spouse, you can manage the day-to-day, just being the roommates, whatever, then for that, I would say, okay, you can hang in there. The other situation revolves around money. So there are different situations depending on the people, and I call them clock watchers, right? They have their spouse on a timer and they are just waiting for that clock to tick down. And the reason is because of money. Now, situation number one, I had a male friend who the situation was, he had always been the one that was working. There was different points at times where he worked 3 jobs when his wife said, I'm not going back to work. I want to be a stay-home mom. And he had said, you have to go back to work. And she said, no, I'm not going to do it. So he picked up more jobs and ended up, being the one bringing in all the money. Well, then she ended up being a stay-home mom for like 12 years. They had almost divorced at different points in time. And so when he went to a lawyer and asked the lawyer, about his divorce possibilities, what came back to him was that he would not be able to even afford a 1-bedroom apartment if he divorced her, because she was going to clean him out from an alimony perspective and from a childcare perspective. So for him, he took the decision, all right, she's on a clock, and as soon as my last one hits 18, I'm out of here. And that at least got him out of all of the child support that he would have to do. Now, in that situation, eventually she did get a job, but there was other things that happened. So even from an alimony perspective, when that day actually happens for him, it's going to change. The second situation involves another friend of mine. It was a female. And her husband at the time did not work and had a job for a while. She knew that she would get taken to the cleaners financially. So what she decided to do was make a plan. So again, she put her clock on and she had a 5-year plan. And in that 5 years, she worked on getting him a job, and a job that was paying a decent amount of money, and made it to where when they went into court to divvy up things, she was not stuck with having to pay alimony. She also came out with the majority of child custody, and she ended up not having to pay him child support. So in the end, it was all about how does she retain the finances for her well-being and to maintain it also for the best interest of their child. So for her, it was all about, how do I make sure to change the financial equation for her best interest so she didn't take it in the shorts. I know, and finances, by the way, is a big thing. I had a boss one time who, they did not have minor children, all right? But he hated his wife, and he hated her so much, he literally moved across the country. Like, he was in Boston and he moved to Seattle. He went and even bought his own plates and his new stuff. And when she came to visit, he was like, I don't want you buying me anything. It's all my stuff. So in that situation, the reason why he stayed married was because there was too much money wrapped up in order to get divorced. And both of them knew it. And both of them were not willing to change their lifestyle if it meant getting divorced. So they simply had their own arrangement. So if you happen to be on what I call a clock, the keys are, you know, what is that situation with your current spouse? Is it amicable, or is it palatable at least? If it is, then wait the clock out and make your plan, all right? Don't sit there and say, well, I'm gonna put a clock on it, and then at that time I'm gonna explore my options. Don't do that. Make sure you go see a lawyer now so you can then figure out what are the steps you need to take leading up to that point in time, and you're ready to go. I hope this information has helped. You, as always, definitely put a like on this if you like this video, subscribe to my channel, or else if you're interested in life coaching to help you with navigating your divorce or the after, you can reach me on talktopallas.com.